little different. I figured we just line the table with Jason items.
Yep. How much stuff do you have?
The stuff that's actually signed is the mask and the jersey.
Okay. I have some, Jason pop figures. If you want to.
Yeah, line on the front of the table with them.
They're right there. As soon as you
Yeah, it was 6 to 8 weeks, not 6 to 8 months. They said he'd have a new. This was his thing, and it was said that he was going to be up and running in 6 to 8 weeks, not months. If you put months on my thing I had.
Well, I thought he said months. Maybe I.
Yeah, see, 6 to 8 weeks with a brand new leg.
All right, hey everybody, this is Scott with Scared City Productions, and as always beside me is Tony Buck. This video is going to be just a little bit different. Today, we're all pretty much saddened by the loss of one of our favorite Jasons, Mr. Steve Dash. He has been, a fan favorite of many conventions. He definitely was a funny guy. We have a couple stories that we're gonna tell. We're gonna show off a few things that we had the honor to meet him and get some stuff signed. So pretty much, I mean, this video is just to pay respects to Steve and all the great things that he's done and all the lives that he has reached along the way. Again, Steve's family. If you see this, we're truly sorry. Fans, I know that y'all will definitely miss Steve at the conventions. I know that we were going to be going to a convention that is not too far from us in March of 2019 here in Little Rock, Arkansas. And he was supposed to be one of the guests. So, that was supposed to have been not another Comic-Con. He's truly going to be missed. You don't think of these icons being gone. And I know here in the past, few months, we've actually lost some pretty big, names. We got Stan Lee, gone in, what was it, November, I believe. Mm-hmm. And then now we've got Steve.
And this is December 19th. We literally just found this out a few hours ago.
Yep.
Well, so we decided to do our own tribute because he's definitely a brother in horror and one of our fallen heroes.
Yes, I mean, you can't have Friday the 13th without, actually a couple of them.
Well, Steve Dash was the first
full size.
First grown up Jason.
Yeah, grown up Jason. Ari was the first one.
And Steve Dash was in part 2. He was the potato sack head one.
Yeah, and and it's pretty interesting. And without that concept, I don't think that we would grow into the hockey mask killer machete wielding guy that we love today. But Steve, may you rest high, brother. We will truly miss you.
And we did find out that this was an onset case of diabetes. Mm-hmm. About 2 weeks ago, he put on his Facebook that they were having to amputate his left leg.
And that was all due to diabetes. And we followed him along the way. And he was talking about going back and playing golf, in 6 to 8 weeks. But you know, you can't. Sometimes you just can't predict what's going to happen. So, um, you know, us here at Scared City Productions, we like bringing things to you, everything that's horror related. Uh,
Good or bad, apparently.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know. I feel like that with us meeting him and
Oh yeah.
and building. I mean, we wasn't like, you know, friends one on one or anything like that.
Oh no,
but,
we've seen him a few times.
you know, we were friends on Facebook, and you know, when he seen us, you know, he recognized us. So I mean, it was kind of cool just to say that we know him. You
Yeah.
know?
I had some personal interactions with him.
And you know, like I say, he's touched a lot of lives.
Killed a few of them.
Yeah, along the way.
But yeah, I actually have a little bit of his Facebook message that he put out. Said that he was in good spirits when everything was going down. That it was one of his decisions with the doctors to have the leg actually amputated. But it said, I have an update on my condition. They're going to amputate my left leg tomorrow afternoon. It's been a pretty tough suffering from diabetes with all the blood clots and having a bad heart as well. And a lot of people didn't know that.
Yeah.
Over the last year or so, he was having the worst of his actual condition. He says, I welcome the decision I've made because I'll be able to play golf again in 6 to 8 weeks with a brand new leg. He said, thank you for all your thoughts, prayers, and personal messages. He said, the fans are the best fans on the planet.
And then he was also working on a new, it's a fan-made movie. It was called Friday the 13th Vengeance.
Vengeance, yes.
And if I'm not mistaken, I believe, you know, he posted some stuff along the way of him working on that. I think that he actually got the majority, if not all, because he played, I believe, a cop in there, not actually.
Oh, he didn't actually reprise his role?
No, he didn't. He didn't play Jason. So he actually played a cop. So I think they might have gotten that at the beginning.
Yeah.
I actually look forward to myself to seeing this fan-made movie, being pretty much going to be the last thing that I know of that he was in. So I'm definitely going to take a look at that as soon as it gets made available. You know, right now I think me and Tony are going to kind of show you some of the things, and me and him have one item that's pretty much almost identical.
He actually he would have had a birthday in March.
Really?
March 14th. He'd have been 75.
Yeah, and that actually was.
That was right around the time that we were going to be at con.
The 16th and 17th. So hopefully, still at this convention, maybe they'll do some kind of
tribute. Oh,
tribute.
I hope so.
I
mean, when we did the Nightmare on Elm Street reunion, there was about
at Whorehound.
Yeah, there was about 30 people. It was about 4 or 5 years ago. They had about 30 people there, and I do believe it was a possibility that Wes Craven was going to show up, but 2 weeks prior to the show, when they were announcing all the last people coming up, Wes Craven had actually died, and they did a huge tribute.
Yeah. And it was very short time, and I think they done a really good job. They had some art pieces there that were one of a kind, and unfortunately we didn't. Yeah,
we didn't get it.
We tried. It wasn't the lack of trying. We definitely bought some raffle tickets too.
Oh yeah. Well, it went to a good person.
It did.
There was a handicapped child, probably early teens. That's a huge fan of horror in general, but he was a big fan of Nightmare on Elm Street, and he suffered through some battles and ended up in a wheelchair, and he won the big prize, which was black and white. It's the original painting, the black and white, and anybody and everybody that had anything to do with Nightmare on Elm Street that they could get at that time, and it was a lot of people.
Yeah.
There was well over a good 40, 50 people.
I say there had easily 40.
Sign that, and I mean that painting. It was a huge piece, and I mean it was worth several $1,000s just the way it sat.
Man,
And
it was
and that
cool
kid got to win it.
Yeah, it was cool just to see it. Honestly.
Oh yeah, and and it didn't make me upset one bit that he won it.
No, I mean
because he's gonna cherish that piece. He ain't gonna go out there and sell it or nothing like that.
Yeah, and honestly, it's probably a good thing that I didn't, because knowing me,
God,
I probably would sell it.
No.
You don't think it would?
You'd have another truck sitting outside because I'd done traded it off to get it from you.
Yeah, well, but something that big, I usually just don't. It'd be nice to say that I had it.
I'd have beat the crap out of you if you sold it. I tell you right now. I'd have just had to break in your house and steal it and be like, "Oh man, hope you had it insured."
Yeah, but back in, when was Flashback Weekend?
Oh man,
Was it August? And it was about mid this year.
Was it June or July? Because it was right before we went to Whorehound.
Yeah, so let's say
I'm not
sometime in June.
100% sure.
They had almost all Jasons there except Kane Hodder and Ari.
Ari, and then the guy that played the new ones.
Yeah, the new ones
new
wasn't
remakes.
there. So you had Steve Dash, you had Ted White, C.J. Graham, you had Tom Morga, and then Ken
Kirkslinger.
Yeah, there you go. All of them were there, which was kind of surprising that Ari wasn't there, because he lives in Chicago.
Really?
Yeah, he lives in Chicago. So
what were you doing, Ari?
I'm willing to bet he probably had another convention or some gig, because he's got.
Because right around that time of year, in the summer months, between spring and summer, all these things pop off within 2-3 months of each other.
But I mean, not only does he hit the circuit, he's got, his band, First Jason.
He is the First Jason,
technically,
but the name of his band is called the First Jason.
Yeah, but at that convention there in Flashback, me and Tony actually had the opportunity to meet all 5 of them.
Oh,
and I don't know, Jeff, if we would be able to zoom in on the autographs or not, but on mine, Steve is right over here on this side right here. So,
and mine, he's at the bottom.
But I had Kane sign there, had Ted, Ken, CJ, and I believe Tom is right up over here. But we had Steve, sign right there. But
did you get all 6 signatures?
Yeah.
King too? I don't know if you did or not.
Yeah, I got. Oh, yeah, I forgot to say. I got Kane I got him at a Whorehound a few months later.
Oh yeah.
That was actually the first one that I got. Remember, you were going off and getting.
Because I got Kane on the arm.
Yeah.
Right underneath the 13.
And
if any of y'all know Kane Hodder, he's played Jason more times than anyone else.
Yeah, than anybody else.
7, 8, 9, and 10, and he was supposed to be in the Freddy vs. Jason, but they got a different director in, and when they brought a different director in, he decided he wanted a different guy for the job.
Which, not down in Ken. I thought Ken done a
oh yes, very good job.
But we also had this one right here was at a Whorehound. I believe the year before, I think it was 2017.
17
is when I got that one. But it pretty much has every mask that's ever been used in all the movies, pretty much up to.
That's the new one. These are the 2 new ones right there.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's got pretty much all of them in there. So, Jeff, do your magic, brother. And then Tony, which I started to get some of the.
Did you get?
I got some. I didn't get Steve.
You didn't get Dash?
No, I didn't get
No, because the one we figured would die first wasn't Steve Dash. We figured it'd be Ted, because he's only, 92? 153.
Yep. And that.
Hey,
don't take it the wrong way.
You keep going.
Yeah.
Ted White. And a lot of people don't know Ted White. That was, what was he?
He was John Wayne's stuntman.
Yeah, he was 4 or 5. Jason 4 or 5. Which one of those? I don't remember. But yeah, he was actually John Wayne's stuntman. And if you look at him now, yeah, he looks kind of like him.
Yeah, except he's really old and cranky.
Yeah, he's anyway.
Hey, if which I hope, I really do. I hope that I get to that age that I just don't care.
Oh yeah, you just don't give a damn. If I'm 62, I won't give a shit.
Yeah. Well, we had
what? Beat my pants again. Well,
we actually had a pretty good story that involves Ted White and Steve.
Well, it's actually got to do with this.
It has to do with this mask.
This was a custom-made mask. I bought it. It wasn't very much, but I bought it, and I didn't like the way it looked. It wasn't aged enough. It wasn't tore up, so I went ahead and redid the whole mask myself and aged it out. And I think I have all 6 of them on there except for Ari right now to sign this piece. I'm sure Jeff's going to zoom in and look at all of them. But if you look at the very top of the forehead right here.
And this is where the problem starts.
That's okay. We went into the con, and in the very back room, they had all the Jasons all in a line. Yep. And Steve Dash was the very first one. And about 4 people past him was Ted White.
Yep. He was at the far end.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what we decided to do was just start on one end, and we just worked our way on down. Because we thought, oh, that's got to be the easiest, you know. So, and for us, it was.
Oh, yeah. So, Ted White being the first one we went to, and being the first grown-up Jason, right on the forehead. Nobody has a problem. We get on down with the Jasons. They're signed here, they sign there, they sign there. And then we get to Ted White.
Yeah.
And, well, I set it down in front of him. I was like, yeah, I'd like you to sign my mask. And he looks at it, sets it in front of himself like this, and he goes, well, what's this? I was like, Dad, that's a Jason mask. You wore it. You should know. And he's like, ah! And then just bounce off with a nice variety of curse words that I probably can't say on this right now.
Yeah.
But it was completely hilarious to me. Yeah. And,
you know,
turns out what
he gets over there close to, like, he storms off. Like,
oh no, I ain't even got past that that part yet. He starts going on, and I said, I can't believe it. Every effing time we go to a con, and this idiot's with us, blah blah blah. And I was like, is there a problem? He goes, yeah, there's a problem. Steve Dash signed in my spot every frickin' time. And I was like, okay. And he goes, hang on just a damn minute. He gets up and leaves. Yeah. And I'm like, what? And he's like, you mind if I just, I'll be back in a minute. And he just walks off.
Yeah. He gets about halfway, stops, and starts arguing with CJ Graham. And
no, he just tells him what happened.
Yeah.
And he's like doing this, and CJ looks back at us.
He throws his arms
He's
up.
like, why y'all starting stuff? And I was like, I don't even know what's happening. Well, I don't even know what's going on.
Like,
so he's like, I can hear him. I'm going to tear him a new one. And we look down there, and I'll be danged if he ain't standing right in front of Steve Dash's signing table.
Yeah.
Gets him out from behind the signing table. And is just tearing him up down one side and down the other about signing in this spot. And you can see he's like doing that. I go back to your wheelchair, whatever. Yeah. And you can hear him just going on. And people are like videotaping it and everything. Yeah. And they think it's part of the show. And they're actually arguing. Like they got into it just a little bit. Nothing serious.
It wasn't, you know, hardcore by any means.
Oh, no. But Dash being who he is, he, Ted walks away, and Dash is just looking down the aisle, and he's like, hey, Ted! And then just flips him the bird in front of everybody. And he just giggles and then goes back to his to go back to signing and whatnot. He comes down there and he's like, I don't know where to. I was like, how about just on the mask? And he's like, signs it. He's like, is that a good spot for you?
Yeah.
I was like, as long as it's on there, buddy, you got it.
Yeah.
But
know,
oh yeah,
we ran into Steve a little bit later, and we were apologizing about it, and and he pretty much he said a couple words that I really don't want to say on the channel, but I'll say this.
It was to the tune of I said, man, because I said, man, he goes, I'm sorry about everything that happened earlier. And he's like, what are you talking about? I was like, well, Ted White. And he goes, Ted White? Oh, you mean that mask thing? Screw Ted White and his 92-year-old ass. Ain't nobody worried about him. And then high-fived us and walked off.
But, it was
definitely a character.
That might have been one of the best.
Oh, dude, that was everything.
Hey, if you actually want to see the video, which I don't think we have the video of them arguing.
We don't. Yeah,
we didn't feel like the showing that and Ted White actually wouldn't let us videotape it.
Yeah.
Probably for
not saying anything wrong about Ted White. He's a good guy.
No, well,
he does a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I would imagine just because I don't know, when you get to that certain
old
age,
and cranky, he probably he knows something's gonna pop off, so he just decides I'm not gonna get that publicity thrown on me. But it happened anyway.
Yeah.
We're out here telling about it.
So if you want to see Steve and the other guys signing the jerseys and stuff like that, we actually have a video for it, and it is the flashback week horror flashback weekend.
I think that's the one where isn't Steve the one that holds the machete to our throats? Wasn't that him?
I can't remember.
I think it was.
But Jeff, if you'll do me a favor, if you can put a link for that video down at the bottom of this video, so we can tie those those two together. But
it was fun, and he was a good guy, and he didn't bother. He could be doing all kinds of things, and he'd still sit there and talk with you for a few minutes.
Yeah. But I just want to, say this, because we're more or less just rambling at this point. I want to say this to Steve's family. I know that he had a lot of stuff going on, health wise. I just want you to know, I know that we're not the only ones out there that are hurting along with you. You've got a ton of folks that are going to be sitting there praying for you. And eventually, all of it's gonna kind of ease up a little bit. You're definitely in our thoughts and prayers. We definitely appreciate having Steve in our lives. He definitely touched us and all the horror community, and made us a lot better. I guess people in person that we can be. So, this is Scott with Scared City Productions. This is Tony. And we're going to be bringing you all things haunted. So y'all stay tuned.
And horror.
So y'all stay tuned. We'll see you later.